YouTube? This is that guy 781. I'm coming at you with a part one of a two-part series for my 2-carry concealed guns. The gun we're going to be talking about today, as you can tell from the title, is going to be the Glock 26, the baby Glock. Alright, now first let's rattle off the facts, and we're going to get the field strip done first. I'm going to go over some pros and cons, and then we're going to go over a bit of philosophy as to why I chose the Glock. Alright, it's 19.75 ounces when it's unloaded, about 26 ounces when it's loaded. It has a 10 to 33 round mag capacity, a consistent 5.5 pound trigger, and the width is 1.18 inches. The reason I mention that width is for carry concealed purposes, and we'll get to that in a second for philosophy. Now that you got an idea of the dimensions on the Glock and a few facts about it, which the 26 is chambered in 9mm, of course, the 27 in 40, and I believe the 30 is in 45, and the 29 is in 10mm. And there's one in 357 SIG, but I'm not sure which model that is. Alright, now that we got some of that out of the way, and of course as stated, it's chambered in 9mm, let's really get the field strip done. First of all, the gun is safety check. There's no mag in there, and the gun is completely empty. So there's no rounds in there either. Now, to field strip the gun, you're going to have to pull the trigger, and there's nobody in that direction. This is a safe direction as well. You're going to pull the trigger, pull the slide back about 3/4 of an inch, pull the two levers down in the front on the frame, and these were the levers I pulled down, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to take off the slide. Once you have the slide off, you're going to pull out the recoil spring and guide rod and the barrel. The gun is disassembled for quick cleaning. Once you can clean out this, now you can disassemble the rest of the Glock, but that's only done in I only do that for deep cleaning purposes, per se. Alright, now to reassemble the Glock, assuming that you've cleaned it, you put the barrel back into the slide, you take the guide rod and recoil spring, you place that in their proper location, and also you have to make sure that you have the end of the recoil spring in the proper detent on the barrel. Now when this is in, you should be able to do this and it not go anywhere. That's how you know it's in there. Alright, you're going to grab your frame, you're going to take the guides here and the detentions on the slide. You're going to line those up, and you're going to pull it back. You're going to put it all the way back as if you're cocking the gun, or you're cycling it. And once it's pulled all the way back, that'll reset the trigger. Everything will be put back together as it was prior to you disassembling it, and the gun will be ready to rock and roll. Alright, let's get into a couple reasons why I chose the Glock as far as pros. First of all, it's a Glock. I mean, while it's ugly, some people call them ugly. I think they're pretty attractive. I like simple things, you know. I'm not a big fan of like flashy clothes or big wheels or you know, monster trucks or anything like that. I like really simple things. And this being a plain pistol with no nonsense safeties and whatnot, that really appealed to me. Also, what also appealed to me about the Glock is magazine capacity. While the Glock does come with only a 10 round, the Glock 26 only comes with a 10 round capacity. That is only kind of true statement, because you can also use, well, let's take a step back. This was a 10 round mag that I of course made a 12 round mag. You know, $3, get a base plate, you got 2 more rounds. Now this is actually how I normally carry the gun. So I'll carry it with 13 rounds and plus P9mm ammunition when I carry the gun. Now 13 rounds is a very good amount as far as carrying concealed. Granted, 5 rounds of 357 or 38 special is also a good amount of rounds. Excuse me, feeling a little sick. And because, you know, based on most studies, you know, you're only going to have to shoot maybe twice to disable an assailant, and that's usually the right amount. You're not going to have a shoot 'em up shootout typically in a defense scenario. Alright, now 12 rounds I think is a great amount to carry. Now there are some cons with the Glock that we're going to get to that also does relate to the capacity as well. Alright, so we have the 12 round mag, which is normally carried in. This mag does have rounds in it, but I'm not going to cycle them, so don't panic. And once again, no one's in that direction, so no, I'm not pointing the gun at anyone. You can put, of course, the 17 round Glock 17 mag in there. Now this is good in case this is your only gun and these are used for home defense or for range purposes, and you don't like to constantly reload your magazines. I think that's a good option. Also, you can also have the option of using the Glock 18 33 round mags, which the Glock 18 is of course the select fire pistol from Glock. Now Some people look at me a little strange when I whip this out in the range like this. Now I'm shooting it down range. But the reason I have this mag is not only because I also have another gun, which is the Kel-Tec Sub 2000, which takes these mags, but I don't like to refill my mags a lot. And the hit stick mags, man, they do help. I mean, I'll shoot 5 rounds. It's just great to have that option to have that many rounds, in my opinion, regardless of what it may look like. And, you know, God forbid that you had a situation where you felt you need this amount of rounds in your carry gun, you know, at least you'd have it. And who's going to laugh if you have to unload 33 rounds of, you know, 9mm their way? Of course, hope that never happens to anyone, because, you know, legal ramifications and all that. And having this amount of mags, this could be good in case the SHTF situation occurs, zombies attack, you know, a variety of scenarios. Some fictional, some not. Alright, now, the Glock 26 is a good carry gun, and I think it's a really good carry gun because it's really an accurate gun because of that 5.5 count trigger that's always consistent. When I pull the trigger on my Glock, I always know where it's going to reset, and I know when it's going to break. And that's almost invaluable compared to some other guns which have a heavier trigger pull, double action only revolvers, and some double action only pistols have really heavy trigger pulls, and to me they suffer for it in my eyes. Now that's going to be based on opinion. I'm pretty sure if I had one of those guns I would get used to it over time, but I don't. So when I do use them, my accuracy does suffer. Now the Glock 26 is not the smallest gun you can get to carry. You can of course get, like, you know, Kel-Tec P3AT, P32, PF9, P11, CAR PM9, CAR PM40, CAR PM45. I mean, there's a lot of other options out there. There's even the micro 1911s. But if you look at a lot of those guns I mentioned, you're going to suffer in capacity. You're not going to get 12 rounds, or you're not going to get 17 rounds, but you are going to get a smaller package, which may be easier to conceal for you. Now, one thing I recommend, if you can conceal the Glock 26 and conceal it well, and you can only get one gun, I recommend getting the Glock 26. Because if you can only get one gun, and it has to double as your concealed carry and your nightstand gun, you know, when you go home, after you take out your 10-round mag, put in your 17-round mag, and put it on the nightstand and go to sleep. I mean, or in, you know, in the lockbox or whatever it is, you know, you may use. And that's where I think the Glock 26 excels, because I can't speak to everyone, but for me, I can shoot this as well as I can shoot the big boy Glocks. And I really think that does speak to Glock's reliability and accuracy. And I've never had an issue with this gun as far as failure to feed, failure to eject. And I've used some cheap ammo. I've used Tula ammo, I've used Brown Bear, I've used Fiocchi, I've used really cheap ammo, I've used surplus ammo, all that Russian stuff, steel cased. And the gun still functions fine. And as long as you can keep it clean, it'll function great. And from what I've even heard, you can keep a Glock dirty and it'll function great. Now, as stated, you're going to suffer a bit in price because I bought this gun used with everything for $450. But you're getting a gun that can double in 2 different ways: your home gun and your carry gun, and it's probably going to last you for years. Glocks are proven. So many police departments carry them or used to carry them. And I really think it's just a good option for carry concealed. I'm having a bit of trouble finding a holster because I'm a bit cheap, and that's my fault. I should have spent the time and money to get a better holster instead of going through a bunch of cheap ones. All of my other holsters broke, so I'm back down to the belly band, which I really don't like because it's a little hot. But there you go. This is a quick review of the Glock 26. This is that guy 781 signing out. Please subscribe for more videos, and thank you for watching.